Okay, I'm live apparently. I don't know. I'm live. Hello, everybody. I don't know what happened. Well, I know what happened. My computer went to sleep while streaming, and the YouTube Studio web app did not like that. It said it was still streaming, but everyone in the chat said they couldn't see the stream. So I think this is a new URL. I don't think it's on the same page, so you're gonna have to go to that. And I'm gonna make sure I have my settings on my computer to not suspend ever when I'm plugged in. Yeah, okay. Because that was an issue. And then I'm going to go over here, good old Twitter, and share a new link after I go to my YouTube account to get my new link, because I don't know if there's a better way to do this or not. Oh, I hate YouTube recommendations. Where's my channel? So yeah, this is fun. This is fun. This is an unofficial stream just to get stuff, make sure stuff is working for next time. Stream broke, new one. I definitely know several things not to do. What did, wait, I have to see this. Adrian says, Jupiter, I didn't see that for about a decade. Yeah. I think Adrian has code in here, maybe. Hold on. We got to see this. Is anybody back in the stream? Alessandro. Hey, Alessandro. Yeah, I created a new one. I don't know what's up with that. I don't recognize. Oh, this is GNOME Terminal. Oh, my gosh. It's GNOME Terminal. Not even our own terminal. Wow. We really... So what did we ship that was ours? We shipped Midori, which we helped design. And Christian was really involved with Elementary OS. Postler, which I have to think about the pronunciation every time. We shipped that and designed it and developed it. Dexter, Empathy we did not ship, but we shipped a custom theme for, which I can't see because it's a chat theme. Lingo we shipped, which... good stuff. The other was archived and published at the same URL? I don't know what that means, Alessandro. What does that mean? The other one doesn't work anymore? Or archived and published at the same URL? I don't know. Shotwell, I don't think we really had any involvement with at this time. AbbeyWord and Numeric, we didn't. Software Center, we didn't. Calculator, we didn't. Terminal, no. And this is all. So what I was starting to say... Okay, yeah, it's a new, yeah, sorry, I don't know how to make it use the old URL, so it created a new URL, but we'll just pick up where we were, stream for another, like, up to like a half hour. I'm not gonna go crazy late, because I gotta have dinner soon. So where I left off in the other stream, if you couldn't see, was looking at this top bar here with the applications, and then places, which is like bookmarks and stuff, and devices, and then system. Instead of having a system settings app, GNOME 2 and Ubuntu and Elementary OS at the time had just all of these are like different settings apps, and they were all their own apps, and you could open all of them at the same time if you really wanted, which is incredible. And administration is again more separate apps. Yeah, your Ubuntu release is not supported anymore. Yes, that is correct. Very unrelated, or unsupported. And then I was trying to figure out if we shipped any sort of multitasking. I think we're technically using... I thought maybe we were using Compiz. This is also super interesting. This is like everything old is new again. So the window menus have keyboard shortcuts shown up here. And at GNOME, I don't think GNOME does these days, and Elementary OS didn't for a long time, but now we added them back. So yeah, what's old is new again. This is Elementary OS 6 up here in the top that you're seeing, and this is Elementary OS 0.1 at the bottom here. So incredible how similar it actually can be. Like, you know, some stuff looks nicer, but it same idea. Some of the same shortcuts even. Alt F7 is move. I don't even know. Wow. Alt F7. Hey, look at that. All right. that's a thing I learned you can do. And these buttons are really interesting. I don't think in GTK2 there's the concept of a suggested action button. So like in elementary OS 4, 5, 6, anything modern, we have this dialogue design. So I'm using a green style sheet. I'm using weird stuff to test stuff right now. But we have these suggested buttons. Let me, here, get a little sneak peek behind the scenes. Let's go to normal and blue. There we go. So you see, you have a suggested action, and you can have destructive actions. And so we do suggested are blue, destructive are like a red, scarier looking button. But GTK2 didn't have that. So I think just all buttons, when they were focused, were this blue color. But it ends up being kind of a similar look, which is interesting. I really want to click this button, but I'm not going to do it. Maybe I'll do that later after I take a snapshot of this VM or something. Just like see how broken it gets. Yeah, I'm trying to see if we have any sort of multitasking. So I'm sure Alt-Tab is something. Oh, it's something. Wow. Yeah, that's Alt-Tab. That's old school. Super Tab do anything? No. Alt-Tick? No. Super S? Oh, that was a session menu. Super D? Oh, toggle desktop. Super left, right, up, down. Oh, Control Alt, left, right? Control Alt. Ah, old school. Okay. Control Alt, left, right is workspaces. No workspace overview at this point. I'm not sure. I think this might be running Compiz under the hood. So you might be able to like go all out and do all sorts of window effects and crazy stuff. If I remember how to do that. Windows. Oh no. Oh, interesting. By default, so yeah, we have the Alt key, but we switched it later to the Super key for clicking and dragging to move windows. Was it just Metacity? We played with Compiz. Maybe the next version was Compiz, or did we go straight to Gala? Yeah, I think you're right. It might be. That might be why some animations and stuff were so crazy smooth in the next version. If it was Compiz. Not sure. Screensavers. I forgot those were a thing. Does anybody miss screensavers? Did anybody miss those? Is that a thing we should bring back? Oh yeah. Yeah, we need floating feet. That's definitely need. You know, Dan, I might be thinking of, I think we experimented playing with Gala, or with Compiz in one of the builds, like, to get all of the timings right for, like, minimizing and closing and opening and all that stuff, and menu animations. And then we took those timings and then coded those into Gala. I think that's maybe what we did. How do I get out of the screensaver preview? Leave screensaver, full screen. Okay. Yeah, this is something I do not miss. These are all of your. Here's your settings. This is all your settings. You can just open all this stuff. About GNOME. Yeah, just open all this all at one time because that's reasonable. Yeah, I'm glad that modern operating systems have consolidated all of those settings into one app because that's way more sane than that. Yeah. What else do we want to look at? Anything else interesting to look at here, guys? Look at the indicators up here. So this is the you can tell because it doesn't let you scrub across and it looks different. This is a GNOME panel applet for networking. And then these are, I think, like the Ubuntu indicators. This was like the first, because it's got like the Me menu or whatever here. Oh, indicator applet complete. An applet to hold all of the system indicators. Go to GPL3. Thanks, Ted. Ted wrote that, apparently. But yeah, so these were kind of so that you have this nice big scrubbable all-in-one. This is interesting. I feel like elementary OS is, at least of the Ubuntu and GNOME world or derivative or adjacent distributions, like we're still the most similar to this layout. Like if we go, like we've got a dock on the bottom, you've got your applications up in the top left. You can even go and have them in categories if you want. And then you've got a clock, which we moved, but it's a clock with a calendar. And then you've got these indicators with all separate menus up here in the top, like really similar actually in concept to this. So, but it looks so different. It's just really interesting seeing, I don't know, people say like our design hasn't evolved or we change things unnecessarily. Like those are two opposite arguments. And I think it's obviously somewhere in between because fundamentally the operating system works very similarly. And then we've improved things like not having a million different settings applets. And that low contrast, that's great. But having a settings app with all your same stuff here, but all in their own pages. So yeah, anything else that somebody wants me to poke at, like interesting things to look at in Jupyter? Or should I wrap it up? Will the stream be recorded? Yes, I think so. It should be on my YouTube channel, hopefully. This is the first time I've done a YouTube stream. Also, my built-in webcam has like this crazy red spot in the middle. So I look like I'm sunburned, but I'm not. Yeah, this is my first time doing a YouTube live stream, and we had lots of technical issues. So it should be on my stream or on my page, hopefully, and I'll tweet it out and stuff. Marlin. Oh, Marlin. I went through all the apps. I must have missed it. Where is it? It's not an accessory. It's not a graphics. It's not an internet. It's not an office. It's not a sound and video. Did we call it files or did we call it Marlin? Oh, you just yeah. Thanks, Dan. Incredible. So yeah, the Files app was not just an app. It was yeah. Here you go. And this wasn't Marlin, was it? This is Nautilus Elementary, I think. Yeah, this has got to be Nautilus Elementary. I think this predates Marlin. So this was a fork or patch set on top of, oh, here we go, about, that's what I was looking for. Yeah, Nautilus Elementary, the elementary team. Amazing, wow, incredible. So this was like a fork of Nautilus, the GNOME Files app. And so you'll see some GNOME contributors that are still around in here. And it was basically how could we take Nautilus and then like clean it up, simplify it, ship it as this much more like gotta be careful with my words here, more intentionally designed experience. And this is again an example where, let's see what we got here. It looks very different, but at the same time, like you can see it's pretty much the same app here. You've got your bookmarks, you've got your devices, you've got your network, you've got your icon view, you've got this little changer to change your icon view. We had it over here. We had a gear menu because there were settings you could turn back on the menu bar and stuff. Oh, wow, yeah, we didn't have a menu bar by default. That was a big part of it, wasn't it? So it, yeah, wow. That was one of our, now I'm trying to remember. Okay, yeah. These apps don't have menu bars either. Okay. Well, we didn't make that one. So apps that we designed or contributed to design, we didn't use menu bars because it was like you can do things more contextually. And then this was about when Google Chrome, I think, came out, or pretty similar timing. And one of their big UI innovations was that they didn't have a menu bar. They had a gear menu. So we kind of did something similar here with a gear menu. And then a big focus on more contextual actions, which, you don't need to have a thing where you select this and then have a menu up here that has actions. You can just right-click it, that sort of stuff. So, oh yeah, Firefox may have had that sort of design first. I remember it was the new trendy UI design thing. It's like, ooh, no menu bars, have a gear. It's kind of the predecessor of the hamburger menu too, and we kind of learned some of the same problems of like you end up just shoving everything in here eventually. So you have these massive menus. I mean, you look at Firefox, you've got like freaking like menus and menus and menus and submenus and dividers and submenus and like this pattern did not scale. Like shoving everything into one menu is a terrible idea. But you have more contextual things. It's like our Files app doesn't have that menu anymore because we don't have any like app-wide things that would go there. We keep things more contextual. But yeah, it's kind of funny actually. It's a really similar app here. So Miller column. Did we have? So Miller columns wasn't a thing. You had just these different like icon views. That's right. This kind of became what Miller columns. Yeah. Yep. Green back and forward buttons. Wow. Thanks, Kendrick. Got a good beer. You're also getting an optimal down up view because this stupid Dell webcam is like right here by the keyboard. So yeah, you get an interesting view of that backlit. Anyway, what else we got? So this is Nautilus Elementary. This is probably the first like elementary app before we were writing our own apps. Was a fork. I'm not sure if there was any Vala involved here, if it was just C. Dan might know that better. But yeah, it was something. It kind of holds up. Like it is a file manager. Like it's fine, whatever. It's simple. Got search. I don't have any files on this test image, but what does this button do? Remove this criterion from the search. Sure. Yeah. I'm gonna get out of there. That's scary. This is interesting. I really like. This is like basically just an illusion that this looks like an overlay bar, but if I'm remembering correctly, it's actually just a white background. Yeah. So it's like some of the stuff we did that was just very UI focused. It's like, well, just fake it, just make it look nice. Yeah, looks nice. Now in files we have an overlay bar, so it shows up like contextually. I'm pointing at my screen like you can see that. It shows up contextually there at the bottom right, with some of the same information, but it doesn't always take up space like this one does. But breadcrumbs again are similar here. I'm not sure if you could edit them. Could you hit Control L? Okay, you could hit Control L to like go to the location. I went to Alt Tab to my other app. It's something we learned. People didn't realize you could like search as easily when you didn't have a specific search button. So we kind of took a cue from browsers in the new versions of Elementary OS and have an all-in-one search and path bar. So when you're in the home folder, it just shows your search. But when you start navigating places, it turns to breadcrumbs. But you can always click in there and search stuff, which I'm not going to do because this is my personal file system. So yeah, interesting stuff. There's just so much stuff in here, like in the settings, and it's all, none of this was made by us. Like this is all GNOME stuff. We really, at this point, it was like we shipped a custom GNOME distribution. We had a few of our own apps, but it was using mostly, it was the GNOME desktop environment customized to look like Elementary wanted it. Some of the apps were forked to customized to look how we wanted them, but it wasn't what we considered a full operating system, which is why we called it 0.1 at the time. And over the years we decided actually this is a real operating system. Let's switch that numbering scheme to reflect that. Super space. No. I thought, did Docky and GNOME do? I forget if they were together at this time or not. So you may have missed earlier when the stream is screwing up. I got into the super secret Docky menu to look at it, and it looks like it's just Docky without any GNOME do stuff. You've got your applets. Oh, NPR applet. Wow, 2011 was a weird time, man. Oh, this was something super interesting we did. We had these super thin scroll bars, because most software had big old chunky scroll bars. We had these super thin ones, kind of inspired by like the iPhone and mobile operating systems. Because the thought was, if you're using a trackpad most of the time or a mouse with a scroll wheel, like you don't actually need this. But this predates actual overlay scroll bars, so again, you see this kind of illusion. Like the background on the scroll bar is white, which in this case doesn't work at all because it's scrolling next to this content. But if you need to like make a bunch of documents or something. Oh gosh, there we go. Just zoom in. Oh gosh. So here it gives you the illusion of being an overlay scroll bar, even though it's just a white background, because we thought you're going to have white content next to it most of the time. So we have an illusion of an overlay scroll bar without actually doing any of the technical work to get that. And now today we have nice overlay scroll bars everywhere, and it's nice. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it looks a lot like elementary still. I feel like that's a double-edged sword coming from different people. They're like, oh, it looks the same as it always has. It's like, we don't ever change things just to change them. We change things when we find new information or a need that isn't being served, or we discover a new way to do something that is better. Then we're open to changing, but we're not going to just like, let's redesign all the icons just for fun. Like we just don't do that. So yeah, it's interesting how many of these metaphors and stuff for the icons all still hold up pretty well. Anything else interesting we should look at? Yeah, I got you, Alex. I'm just saying some people say it in a way that's not in a nice way. They're like, it looks the same as it has for 10 years. And it's like, I take it as a compliment that like our design from 10 years ago in ways holds up still. Yeah, this is interesting. It's pre-header bar, and it's you can't even drag on the toolbars, it looks like. So I know in later versions of GTK, you could drag on the toolbar because GTK styles were merging these title bars and toolbars to like look like one thing. So you can only drag right on that title bar, but you can't drag right below it, which is interesting. I wonder if we shipped like how much customizing we did for like appearance settings. Like, could I just go in here and make a new? What does install do? Oh, yeah. No. Can I just like choose? Oh yeah. Amazing. So I'm sure this is what people give us crap about now. We don't ship a million different UI themes because why would we ship this? Why would we ship this? But if you wanted to use Elementary OS Jupyter looking like Windows 95, you could. That's funny. What's the default? Where's Elementary? There it is. I was going to say, so at the time, I feel like most GTK stuff looked like more like this, where it had a distinct title bar. So this merging of the title bar with the window Chrome, we were doing it before header bars were a thing, and I think that visual style, and Ubuntu did this too with their dark theme, their ambience or whatever it was, or humanity is maybe the older one, but yeah, you kind of have this merging of the title bar and toolbar, which becomes header bars in the future, and actually saves space. Let's look at that. This is one of Dan's favorite demos. What am I doing? Files. Look at that. We have the same content in a shorter space. You've got back and forward button. You've got refresh. You've got your breadcrumbs. You've got your view switcher, which is nice and easier to click. And you've got search because you can type in here or hit Control F or whatever. And you have more space to grab the window because you used to only be able to grab this little top bar. Now you can grab anywhere. And I guess you can't grab, well, yeah, you can. You can grab anywhere. And it works. And yeah, people say it takes up more space, but it actually saves space, but it's more clickable at the same time. Let's see. Notify OSD. How would I check that? Because if I do brightness keys and stuff, that's going to do it on my right, isn't it? Or what about volume? Oh, hey! Look at that. Oh, yeah, we could just scroll on here, maybe? No, that doesn't work. Yeah, Notify OSD. So that was an Ubuntu thing, right? That's actually remarkably similar. So here's modern elementary notifications. You get a little sound with it now. I'm not sure if this is making a sound or not. And here's Notify OSD. The thing about Notify OSD was that they always got out of your way, which was kind of neat, except when it was an actual notification that you wanted to interact with, you just couldn't. So that's something that's nice about our more modern notifications here is, I guess we don't have interact on these ones, but on like normal notifications coming in, you can click it to open the app or whatever, which is nice. Wow, I forgot about Notify OSD. That's funny how similar that looks still though. Like, wow, yeah, it's a dark style. Okay, let's do a. This will be more similar. There you go. So now you've got Elementary OS 6 notification up there, and Notify OSD Elementary 0.1. It's almost the same. Amazing. If it's not broke, don't fix it, I guess. Oh wow, let's chat. Itch for customization is real. Yeah, so here's something interesting. I didn't really intend for this to be an Elementary OS 6 stream, but while I'm here running it, I might as well show you. So you may have seen me poking around in here. This is our system settings app in Elementary OS 6. That's something we've been spending a lot of time on, is the appearance section. So we've heard from a lot of people they really like the ability to make the operating system feel like their own, and feel more like theirs, more unique. And maybe red is their favorite color. So rather than just having like this unending like Pandora's box of select a style sheet that may break and may not be supported and apps might not be tested against, we ship the elementary style with accent color support. So you can choose these accent colors. And then, in Elementary OS 6, we have a dark style that's coming. So you can have, I'm trying to think of apps that the system set app here, and then like the camera app actually. Yeah, I didn't even see that. The camera app at the bottom right there. And system apps and stuff like the keyboard shortcuts overlay will follow the lighter dark style. And the indicators up here. So the idea is make it feel more like your own unique thing, just like you can change a wallpaper. Like if you like green leaves and dark stuff, like now this feels like your setup, very different from the default of this or whatever. So that's part of the scratching that itch, I guess, is being able to customize things, but in a way that's well supported. And app developers can opt into the dark style and stuff. So let's see. Hope that answers that a little bit. Blossom. Should ship the old elementary look with the Pinebook Pro version. So you can't we'd have to recreate it. So this is running. Let's go back over. This is running GTK2. So the way that you wrote themes in GTK2 is completely different from how you write a style sheet in GTK3 or 4. So maybe like the wallpaper, but I think we found out that maybe the wallpaper doesn't have the original author that said they're the original author maybe didn't correctly license it or something. I'm not sure. Not going to get into that too much, but if we have a similar wallpaper, I think that would be fun as a little Easter egg or something, but I don't think we could ship anything that looks anything like this without just recreating it, which is a huge waste of time. Dark mode, very nice. Thank you. Yeah. Are you saying I'm going to have a dark blue theme? Yeah, so sort of basically in Elementary OS 6. Oops, I'm going to get over to my... Yeah, you can have dark and you have blue. You can even use this like cyan color. Pink, if you are Emma Marshall from System 76 and like pink, you can have pink. And then, things like the, suggested action buttons here follow that color. So you'll feel this color popping through in the operating system in places in like switches and suggested buttons and highlight colors like here. You'll feel that like propagating throughout the operating system. So it really can totally change the feel of it. I think it's pretty cool. You can like, you want like some weird orange stuff, you can go there. It looks kind of Ubuntu-y if you get an Ubuntu wallpaper or something. Like you can make it feel a little more unique, I guess. I'm glad you're psyched. That's good. Yeah, it's been a lot of work working on that. And there's still stuff that we got to fix and figure out, like the calendar doesn't support the dark style yet because these custom accent colors, well, especially when you have events that have like a faded color, getting those to work in both the light and the dark styles is more work, but we'll get there. We'll get there. That's the plan. So yeah, it's pretty interesting to see how different, I don't know why this is this resolution. I just realized that it's not full resolution. But yeah, I think that's about it. I think that's about all I'm going to dive into. Any last second things people wanted to see in Elementary OS 0.1, the OG? Wow. Oh, that's good. Click to make changes. Hey, our tooltips look really similar. They're more transparent now, but they look pretty similar. They're just dark. Interesting. How's the Pinebook Pro coming along? Yeah, it's working pretty well. I've been using it off and on. I have like 3 laptops, so I can't say I've been using it as my main laptop because I don't use any specific computer as my main computer. But I've been using it like if I go to a coffee shop or something, or like hanging out on the porch or whatever, I'll grab it because it has the best battery life pretty much. I miss the high DPI screen, but performance-wise, it's good. If I'm compiling a lot of code rapidly, I notice that it's not as powerful. But if I'm just poking around on a couple apps or a couple web pages, it's pretty good. I'm really happy with it. I'm really impressed. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, and I think running Elementary OS on the Pinebook Pro feels faster than when I was running other operating systems on it. I know we've tweaked like the kernel performance settings or whatever a little bit, and I think our apps just launch really fast, so that helps a lot too. So it definitely feels faster running Elementary OS than other OSs to me, which is pretty cool. So if you have a Pinebook Pro, I highly recommend going to builds.elementary.io and checking that out. So, all right, yeah, I'm going to wrap it up, everybody. Been a little over a half hour. Thanks for joining. Sorry about the technical issues at the beginning. Sorry about the weird red face in the webcam, and hopefully next time we'll dive into Elementary OS 0.2 and see what has changed or improved. And maybe we'll get the technical stuff figured out a little better. So see you all later.